What's up, guys? My name is Jomel, and we are the Wannabe Boo podcast, bringing the latest and greatest game anime news, reviews, and waifus for life. Welcome to episode 68. We're out here, Acen 2019, after hours, after the con's been over. It is Sunday. As of this recording, it is Sunday night, and everyone has gone home except for like maybe a few stragglers here and there. A quite few handful. It's definitely one of the most saddest moments of the con. I'm right now. I'm suffering through post-con depression, so I gotta like fill myself back up with some anime and some animus. I need my waifu right here, right now, to comfort me. I'm trash, but call me senpai. Rocking the senpai shirt. I don't remember where I got this from, but maybe I'll put a link down and shout them out for it. But as you can tell, I have a different gentleman of the black persuasion here with me tonight, other than Jarron. You've heard Jarron and I talk about this man in a lot of our podcasts, whether it was insulting him, commenting about him, and or him insulting us or commenting about us in many different situations. He's fresh to the podcasting scene, so he's a little bit nervous. He's a bit of a nervous wreck right now. He's also brand new and fresh to the Instagram game as well. So I'll have him do all that little details for you. But welcome, special guest for this week's podcast and good friend of mine and Jarron's, Martrell Graham.
Yeah, it's good to be here, man. As my boy has said, I am new to this whole podcasting thing. Also new to Instagram. By the way, my Instagram is King of No Name, all one word, no caps,
Edgy as fuck. What was that?
no spaces, and yes, edgy as fuck. I didn't intend for that, but it came out that way. But that's okay. I'm kind of an edgy guy, a little bit. So, yeah, man, let's get to the nitty gritty.
All right, so I'm gonna have you lean a little bit. 'Cause I'm literally stretching my arm out here, or I'm gonna get close to you. All right, so hopefully you don't feel. Get your ass over here. I'm not about to lean in all the way just to get you. So if you guys haven't noticed, we're also gonna be shooting. This is also being shot on video as well. So I've been trying to spice up a lot of the format lately. This is a completely different setup as well. I have the audio right now recording onto my camera. And I've also have one mic because it's a lot of technical difficulties and technical issues for me. So I have to share this mic, and we'll go back and forth between Martrell and I. But we're gonna go get down into topics here. So I mean, Acen last year. What's up?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something to say. Acen last year when Jarron was here, we talked about our con convention tips and tricks for first timers out there, and we elaborated on quite a bit. We even had like a couple of people kind of walk up to the mic. Obviously, if you were to look behind the camera, there's no one here. Maybe a couple of people walking around looking at us weirdly. Probably normal hotel guests. Hey, hold on, we can't be getting distracted out here. So, but this year, though, we want to elaborate more on cosplay and stuff, especially with Martrell here, because this is actually his first Acen cosplaying. Because he's been how many years have you gone to Acen so far?
Honestly, I think it's either 4 or 5. It's been on and off, and a lot of years in between. So I'm gonna just say 5. I'm gonna put my money on 5. Bruh, you can pull the mic out of my mouth now.
Or you can speak louder. I don't know. You gotta speak up just a little bit.
Really? Well, I mean, I can't tell if it's coming through like loudly or not.
You can actually tell right there. See where my line is right now. See how nice and expressive my voice is, that compared to yours.
Well, yeah. Okay, sure. All right, I get it. But this is gonna be a long ass hour.
Your first time cosplaying, right? Because you've been here a few years, but this was actually your first time really putting on the suit. And if you haven't really realized, he actually cosplayed as Miles Morales. But putting on the suit, walking around in that suit for a good majority of the days. Tell me about it. Tell us about it.
All right. So first thing I want to point out, the fact that this is not what I do. This is not a me thing. I'm super fucking shy, antisocial as hell even. But put on the suit, stepped outside the room, walked around, like it was natural as hell, which was surprising as shit to me. To be fair, I completely expected myself to be freaking out the whole time, having maybe 12 or so minor heart attacks, but it worked out. It was great. It's cool.
I mean, I feel like it helped because like everyone else was also in costume as well, so you kind of blended in with the environment, so to speak.
Yeah, blended in. Because definitely didn't go to a casino later on and being the only person in costume still.
Well, well, for those of you who don't know, I mean, throughout the whole convention, there's obviously like a lot of public places outside of a certain perimeter of the convention center where people kind of go out in their costumes and cosplay. Like for example, one of the popular places like a McDonald's down the road or like a Denny's up on the other side. We happened to go to a casino there our first night, day one, night one of Acen, and Martrell being the only one in costume. It was hilarious to see a big old Spider-Man walking around a casino floor. Did the security lady say? I'm sure she said something when you were checking in with your ID.
Yeah, yeah. She was actually waiting for me to come in. She's like, oh yeah, this guy said my friend's gonna come in a Spider-Man costume, so don't freak out, And I was like, yeah. They didn't tell me. Logically, did not tell me I should have brought some other clothes, and I was already in this. So I was like, you know what, just gonna do it. Fuck it, be brave. Slightly nerve-wracking though. Yeah, a lot of eyes in that casino. Casino, because I can't English. Fuck. Casino. A lot of eyes there. And, I mean, a lot of compliments, though. No hate, which is another surprise.
No, lean in.
Yeah, I know. I'm just fucking with you. But, yeah, that aside, for the most part, that was probably the only time where I was actually slightly self-conscious about the fact that I was walking around in Spider-Man. A big-ass Spider-Man. Huge. I'm tall as fuck, y'all. But yeah, that aside, it's not as terrifying as I thought it would have been. Cosplaying for the first time. Definitely. Oh shit, my bad. definitely more like what most people say it is. It's pretty fun, and everyone should try it. Even if you don't think you've got the body type for it. If you're passionate enough about it, go for it.
Is that all? Yeah. All right. Oh, how about it? Well, let's expand on that a little bit too. So tips and tricks and stuff like that. Now a lot of the big things around here, especially in cosplay in general and convention season is something called cosplay crunch, right? So, I myself am a victim of cosplay crunch. Well, we both were. Technically, Marcel was supposed to come in 2 different cosplays this weekend, but due to timing and our poor judgment of such timing, we were not able to finish that second cosplay. Want to tell us about that? About when we actually started working seriously on our shit. So, I mean, and my Shield Hero cosplay was one of those cosplay, but I'll talk about that a little bit more after Marcel tells us about his.
All right, so I'm a huge fan of Destiny. Play a lot of it. Probably should stop playing so much of it. And I was thinking like, if I have to put a costume together, if I gotta really cosplay something, I kind of want to do it from that game. Kind of want to, bust my ass if I'm really gonna do this. And why not add the extra challenge of the cosplay crunch to it? Because, clearly not that intelligent.
Well, the cosplay crunch is not really a challenge. It's more of like a poor result of not working on anything on time. It's like a result of procrastination.
Well, I decided to take it on as a challenge, and I convinced this guy here that it was a good idea, even though he's been making cosplays for how many years now?
7 years, I think. Yeah, because I've made all my cosplay since my first Acen, which was 7 years ago.
So yeah, I was able to convince him that it was a good idea, and it wasn't. So for reference, he was doing Shield Hero. Shield Hero's dope, by the way. And I was trying to cosplay as the Phoenix Strife Zero armor for the Titans from the PvP set from I think Crucible Season 1, I want to say. And to give you, somewhat of a reference of what it was, if someone wants to look it up. Yeah, we only got about like halfway done at best. I think
Well, I don't know about halfway. We didn't even get to finish the helmet at that point. Because we got the chest, shoulders, and maybe a belt. Oh no, you get the gauntlets as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, chest, shoulders, belts, gauntlets, and then we just really had to finish the helmet and the legs, and then the Titan mark, which is the cloth part that hangs off for anyone not familiar with what the Titan mark is. And crap. Oh yeah, painting the whole damn thing afterwards. It would have been the last step if we'd finished on time. However, we decided to not start working on both of these cosplays until a month before?
Not even. It wasn't even a month. It was not even a month before. I think we decided maybe 3 weeks before Acen, because then I remember one of our conversations at work was what was it? It was like we have less than a month in Acen left, and we haven't even started on our cosplays yet. During that time, that's when we started actually gathering material, thinking about designs and shit, and how it actually was going to work out for both of our respective cosplays. So, yeah, about less than a month, 3 weeks, I'd say, at best or at most. No, 3 weeks at least prior to Acen, when it came to actually preparing for making our cosplays in general. See, me personally, I would not recommend Cosplay Crunch, because the reason why you get into Cosplay Crunch is because, you're like us. Well, you're like me, and you waited last minute to do it. And I mean really last minute. If you're like this individual that sees it as a challenge for some godforsaken reason, you want to say something.
I want to say a whole lot of shit. Well, I took it as a challenge just because I figured, why not make it my first, at my first attempt at doing this, why not make it a bit of a challenge and try to possibly screw myself over? Because to be frank, if we would have added an extra 2 weeks, we would have been fine. We would have finished. We'd have had plenty of time to do it. And that's with us only working like 1 day out of each week for about 10 to 12-ish hours. And the amount of time we did spend, even though we started 3 weeks prior, we only spent about 40 some hours. So just a little bit more than 2 days. And we finished the Shield Hero just fine, but that Titan was gonna need another 30 to 40 hours easy. Hell, maybe even if we were unlucky and had to remake some stuff, probably the better part of 3 days. So yeah,
That's a masochistic levels of shit right there. Having to want it. I mean, it was your first time cosplaying, and you're like, you know what? I want to crunch through this first cosplay. So, I don't know. That's some shit right there. To elaborate on what happened to me with this weekend, see, technically, I did not finish my my Shield Hero cosplay until day 2 of Acen. So, I mean, the gist of the whole story is that I kind of gave up. Everything was pretty much made. All I needed was paint, and I sort of kind of gave up because I was like, do I really have the time to really do this? And pretty much I was pretty much shitty with my own decisions. But in the end, last minute, I was like, you know what? I went back to my place, got all my Shield Hero shit, and I started painting that motherfucker at Acen that morning of day 2, which is at 3 to 4 a.m. in the morning, and then didn't go to bed till that 5 a.m. But it was well worth it because I actually did a pretty good damn job. Not to suck my own dick, but a pretty good damn job at getting all that Shield Hero shit done because I was able to take a lot of pictures with all my fellow cosplayers out there. I saw 2 Raftalias this Acen, and maybe 3 Shield Heroes other than myself, probably. Unless I ran into the same Shield Hero again. I don't know. But no Philo though. There was no Philo cosplayers. Come on, guys. I don't care whether you're a guy or girl. I need some Philo in my life. Actually, no. Retract the last statement. As a cosplay group, I don't know. I welcome everybody. This is not going as planned as I thought it'd be. I feel like you had something to say.
Boy. Oh wait, hold on. Let me. Boy. So yeah, I convinced this man that he should go back and get his cosplay for 2 reasons. One, it was looking amazing. By the time we finished everything, paint aside, I was like, bruh, you did it. We did this shit. And I'm going to need you to fucking flex in this. I'm going to need you to flex. But he got cold feet. But it's okay because, he came back, manned up, got it, finished the paint job, and got a whole lot of love for it, too. Yeah. Maybe even,
You can lean in a little bit more. I feel like you're leaning back. The reason why I'm really putting the mic close to your face. You don't have to lean back. You can
Well, that's because I'm sitting comfortably.
Okay. I'm gonna have to get closer
I'm
then.
leaning back, just for comfort's sake. But I'll fine. I'll sit forward for my boy, so you don't have to, get gains while holding this microphone.
Oh, don't worry. I'm always getting gains. So I am having a hard time trying to get this mic up properly. So
Lies. He is not always getting gains, but that's okay. He does put in a really good effort, far more than most folks. Proud of my boy. So that aside, since I didn't finish my cosplay, I only had Miles to lean back. Man, it touched my whole bottom lip, and I was like, whoa. All right, so I couldn't finish my Titan cosplay, so I only had Miles to fall back on, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. People like Spider-Verse. I love Spider-Verse. It's a fucking good movie. If you haven't seen it, the fuck are you doing with your life? So, yeah, put it on, rocked it. Of course, I was one of like 40 Spider-Man cosplayers, and I think.
I only saw like 3 different Miles cosplays. I don't know if there was like more during that Marvel meetup. Was there a lot more Miles Morales cosplays?
I didn't see like 2 or 3 that I saw like on day 1 for the Marvel shoot, because they showed, everyone else showed up on, all Spidey'd out for the Marvel shoot and whatnot. But there was like a good 15 to 20 Miles Moraleses from multitudes of age ranges.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna cut that out.
I know. I'm fine with that. Multitude of age ranges. And I was like the tallest one there, and I was like, well, shit. Sticking out like a sore thumb. All right, cool.
Weren't you the only one without a mask out of the Miles ones? Maybe. I don't know. Or no, did you have your mask on you? I don't, because I didn't see it when you were up there.
I have a mask with me, but I didn't put it on. But I wasn't the only one without a mask on. Like, I think there's probably like 2 others, but for the most part, everyone else had their mask on. And I was like, I would put mine on, but then I'd be blind as shit and I wouldn't know how to pose. Couldn't do that to myself, so I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna be the most handsome guy here.
Okay. Humble flex aside, that was also like your first like big old like cosplay shoot, right? Like how like the organized cosplay shoots for all the Acen people.
Yeah, cause I don't take pictures. I'm a shy guy. I don't even take selfies. Well, that's a lie. Now I've taken a few now, but before this Acen weekend, I barely took photos.
So what'd you think of it? What'd you think of the whole thing? Like, again, I've been doing cosplaying and for 7 years, and I've always tried to like cosplay as something that has like a photo shoot, just because you kind of want to like be a part of that big old group and kind of like have everyone cosplay the same theme together, and like how was the entire process for you? How did you feel? How did you take it all in, seeing that this was a lot of your firsts in this case?
Hmm. I would say it was only a little bit nerve wracking at first, but I'm sure if I was like the only Spider-Man cosplay, then I would have been freaking out. Like I'm in front of like 80 fucking people posing and shit. But I wasn't. I was one of like a multitude, so I was like, you know, what? It's cool. I got this. I can just do what I want, you know, and not be super self conscious about it.
You got any advice on like? I guess. Oh yeah. You got any advice on like well, as a first time cosplayer yourself, what do you have to say in terms of advice, in terms of tips, tricks, or even like just something to keep in mind if you're doing it if you're doing it for the first time, you know, whether it's been your whether it's the first time you're being at the con or not, you know. Cosplaying for the first time is completely, or cosplaying at a con has a different experience than not cosplaying at the con, for multiple different reasons. But what would you say you would provide in terms of advice for someone that says, you know what, I'm gonna try to put the suit on and see what happens. You can look at the camera, by the way.
I know I can do that. All right, so advice was the weather. Definitely take into account the fucking weather, cause I figured when I first put on the suit and was testing it out to see if it, fits right. Will it keep me warm? Will I be freezing in it? It's a relatively warm day. It's like 60ish degrees. And I was like, oh, it's fine. I'm not super hot. I'm not super cold. It's whatever. But I was also wearing a shirt under there, which tricked me into thinking I wouldn't have to if I actually was wearing this on, say, a super hot day or maybe even a cold day. I was wrong. Dead wrong. 'Cause during the con, only thing I had under there was like some underwear and like, what's it, not tights,
I think they were spandex.
yeah, it was some type of spandex. I forgot the name for it, but
Spats.
yes, yeah. So I was wearing that, and just that was the only thing I had under the suit, and I was just like, you know what? It's kind of fucking cold. I'm freezing my ass off, and it was like, what, 50 that first day? What was the?
Uh, no, it was relatively like 60, but it felt like 50 just because I think the wind chill was a little bit colder than usual for that kind of temperature. It didn't rain though that first day, did it?
No, it didn't rain on the first day, or no, did it? No, I think it rained for a bit, like briefly, and then it stops. But it was still freezing fucking cold, and I should have worn some more layers under that suit. But I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm Spider-Man. He probably doesn't wear shit under here, but underwear. It's cool, whatevs. Nah, definitely consider the weather when you're preparing for your cosplay, when you're, traveling to another state or country. Definitely look into what the weather's going to be like, at least up until the day of. And, in the Midwest, the weather's always bullshit. It's temperamental as fuck. We went through all 4 seasons.
Except winter.
Well, except winter. But we've gone through all 4 seasons in a day multiple times throughout our lifetime in the Midwest. So, yeah, definitely take care of yourself when it comes to the weather. Let's see. Oh, tip number 2. Accuracy when it comes to, putting your cosplay together and whatnot. It's good if you can get it super accurate, but if you're on a bit of a time crunch, you can cut a couple corners. As long as you get it that 90% authenticity type of look to it, no one's gonna really give you shit for it.
Well, I kind of feel like, well, yeah, accuracy is a good thing, right? Though, I don't know. There's some argument of like some creative freedom here and there. I mean, as long as it's not like, how do you say? Bless you, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's more so like if you have the kind of the spirit of things. It's kind of like, it doesn't have to be like cut per cut, like carbon copy of like whatever you're trying to achieve there. But it's more so just getting the spirit of it, right?
Exactly. And hell, Like even my boy Shield Hero, even though it was pretty accurate, it wasn't 100% accurate. I'd say good like 90% in particular, which is why I thought it looked so really fucking exceptional. And actually, did you end up putting on the leg part, or did you decide against that?
I decided against that just because like my duct tape strap method was not gonna hold up for so long, so I was kind of walking around with no thigh pieces. Though the spirit of the shield hero was still there. I had my shield, I had my green cape, I had my brooding aura, so I was still the shield hero that I believed to be. And I didn't really. Oh, it's not like I didn't care, but I didn't really have that be a bother to me. I didn't have that hanging over my head as something like, oh, my cosplay is shitty because I don't have the thigh pieces. No, not at all. Despite having some differences to the main source material, I still felt in character. I still felt like I was working my cosplay, and it was more so just a mental state, to be honest. And I really feel like that's also something that we can all really strive for, especially for like cosplay. Because was it Jarron and I talk about it a lot too. Like cosplay is freedom, so I mean, from like from the things like mashups to versions to even like gender swapping as well. It's all it's all limited to what you can really imagine, whether you're buying it, putting it together yourself. As long as you yourself as long as you yourself put in the time to say, you know what, I want to suit up. This is what I got. Let's work it out. So, I mean, I know there's something in the cosplay community that's there's usually the arguments they give like oh like what Montrello is saying, you're not the kind of correct body type to like be cosplaying about this character, or like something like me and Mike is like, oh, I didn't have the thigh pieces, so it's not completely accurate. I was incomplete, quote unquote. But I don't really think that should be something we should really be hanging on to. We're not trying to do a live action film of our characters, so and we can't really have that kind of like minute detailed accuracies to really concentrate on, just because we're all gonna be there for what, 3 days? Yeah, roughly a whole weekend. And I think it's more important that you want to, regardless of what kind of individual you are. If you want to cosplay as Pikachu, go right ahead. Whether you're whether you want to go about it in like a big old like what's it, onesie, or if you want to like spray paint yourself yellow and get all the, the little details and shit. I don't really care, as long as you're doing you're trying to go pika with some people. Shit, I mean, cosplay is freedom. Cosplay is a good way a good form of self-expression, and actually in a fun way, I guess you'd say.
When he happened to pick up on cosplaying as Pikachu and just basically just fucking doing it, it reminded me that I too have a Pikachu onesie at home. I should have brought it. That would have been a great option for day 2. Well, day 1 actually.
It could have been like a half and half, maybe on day 2, like Miles half of day 1, or Miles AM day 2, and then Pikachu day 2 PM.
Yeah, I could have done that. I should have done that. It would have been great, especially if I could have found like, I had detective hat, so it could have been a detective Pikachu mix. Yeah, it'd have been pretty swaggy, but didn't think of it at the time. Although it would have been warm as fuck in that fucking onesie. I shit you not. I put that bitch on in like October, and I was like, I'm sweating and it's cold outside. How the fuck? But it probably would have been good for that first day of this particular Acen weekend, because it was on the chillier side.
I was coming. Let's go back a little bit on the, because the lights. Oh, there we go. The lights are turning off there for a second there. All right, don't mind us. We're gonna just continue in the dark, and hopefully nothing happens. You briefly mentioned the whole like different body types type thing, and that's usually like a big discussion when it comes to cosplay. Because I mean, even in the cosplay community, there's still some level of like, I call it elitism, just like how there has elitism in anime. I guess in the anime community, kind of like for us weeaboos and for us wannabe-aboos, that kind of thing.
Hold on.
Are you chewing gum?
I've been chewing gum this whole time.
Okay, just making sure because I don't know, as I don't choke on it once I pass the mic on to you.
Nah, I had to move it out the way so it's not interfering with my ability to speak. So yeah, going on to the whole body type issue or cosplay accuracy issue with say people of different skin colors cosplaying as different characters. Like I've seen a number of Black Gokus or Clouds over the years, and I was like, yo, that's fucking dope. But some people don't see it that way, which is really fucking shitty, And I've seen tons of cosplayers that are like that's a big ass person, but they're fucking killing that shit. Like, for example, earlier I saw a vid of this of a Dante cosplay here, and I was like, fam, he's a bigger guy, but that don't even matter.
Yeah, same. I saw a guy as fourth Hokage Naruto. I was like, yo, that's fucking dope. Like he had the coat, the orange. He had the white Hokage coat, the orange undercoat underneath it. I was like, man, if I wasn't like kind of caught up in the crowd, I would have taken a picture with him.
But yeah, like, man, size don't matter, man. If you got your costume right, fuck them. Fuck them. Because, let's be real. It ain't about them. It's about you. About you having a good fucking time. And I had a great fucking time because let me tell you, I do not have the same body type as a motherfucking Spider-Man of any universe. Well, maybe
Peter B. Parker from like from Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I probably got a dad bod like Peter B. Parker, if anything, but I was still out there rocking my fucking spandex ass suit, not giving a fuck.
While you're muffin topping and spandex and all that good stuff. But that was you. You doing you. You doing you, man.
Yeah, man. I was like, fuck it. If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna fucking do it.
Now, I mean, this isn't really much of a debate or even a discussion in general, but there are different ways of doing the cosplay. I guess most famously is, and also it's mostly always showcased as well, is making your own cosplay and all that. Out of my years of cosplaying, I've always made my cosplay, not for any particular reason other than the fact that I liked making shit. So, and it's more so like I kind of have more control in my own creative mind, and if I wanted to spice it up with like a mashup or something, or even kind of seeing if I can do it in a more comfortable way than like some mock-ups of like pre-made stuff, I'll do it. But a lot of the times it's mostly just because I like getting my hands dirty. I like really, I'm breaking the mold. It's kind of like
hands-on.
There we go. Well, I didn't actually ask the question. I'm sorry. I kind of instinctively just passed the mic. Yeah. Really, yeah. I like being hands-on with a lot of my craft, and cosplay is one of them. I mean, my first cosplay was like Minecraft Villager, and I thought it'd be funny if I were to do it. Not just any other way. I could have done it in multiple other ways, but I did a full body Minecraft Villager cosplay with proportions included, meaning that because I did the math a little bit, I also did some research that the Minecraft Steve model is roughly like 5'7". I'm a little bit shorter than that, but if I were to take into account, my own size, my own like actual real world dimensions, and apply that to like a single block in Minecraft, I actually worked out the math where I was a proportionally accurate Minecraft villager with my height and width involved, and completely all in cardboard boxes. And I gotta tell you, it was fun. I got a lot of pictures. Making it was also really fun too. And it was also hot as shit. Like I didn't. That was the first time I realized that cardboard is a big insulator for heat. Because that shit was really hot. I forgot my point. My point is, I wanted to do it that way, like the proportionate thing, and so I did it because I thought it'd be fun. But making cosplay is not the only way to cosplay. Like for example, our friend that came with us to Acen this year, Danny, he actually bought his cosplay. He cosplayed as an RPD an RPD cop from the Resident Evil series, more so on the lead side. And there's perfectly nothing wrong with that. Because I mean, I've only seen very small amounts of conversation about this kind of thing where like buying a cosplay is like the easy way out, or like if you really wanted to be a real cosplayer in some degree, you gotta make your shit or stuff like that. It's kind of mindless conversation like that. Though I find that there really isn't any one way of like cosplaying. Whether you make it or you buy it, it's still part of that process of being part of the content, that sort of way.
I would like to interject and say, for people with those elitist attitudes, yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. For real, though. Like, let people have their fun, man. Don't be a dick about it. That aside, sometimes it's probably better to see if you can buy the costume, because in some cases, it's like, oh, yeah, that's, $20 out of my pocket, but fine. That saves me, like, 100 or so hours of trying to put this shit together from, learning skills from scratch. Like, for example, if I were to make a Spider-Man suit out of, from scratch, I'd have to learn how to sew, dye, various shit with measurements. And, yeah, it would not have been a good time. But I found that suit for, like, shit, $40? So I was like, fuck it. That'll save me much more time and effort, because buying a sewing machine is probably pricey.
Oh yeah, definitely. I had a sewing machine in my place. You could have like easily made some pants or something. But yeah, I definitely know how, because I mean working with fabric is completely different from working with like foam and oh, excuse me, completely different from working with foam and shit like that.
Yeah, because in the process of building a Titan armor, originally I was gonna do it out of just cardboard. I was like, cardboard would be easy, right? No, it wasn't. It was ass. And cardboard's not particularly flexible, so unless I want to make it super blocky, then it wasn't going to give me that look. It wasn't going to look very authentic. I mean, it could have been like hey, I'm making a Minecraft variant. Then in that case, I'm like, yeah, cool. But nah, that wasn't what I wanted. So I switched over to foam. And it once we start getting a couple pieces done, it's, finally came together. It's finally starting to look real nice. But of course, cosplay crunch, couldn't finish in time, and unfortunately, I don't have it to show off yet. Definitely gonna finish it for the next con I go to. That is.
Are you lost in thought?
Yeah, I am lost in thought. But my guy, because I don't think you got around to asking the question.
Which question? I'm not familiar. I don't have anything in my notes here with the question. We're gonna go off script here for a little bit. Oh, we always go off script anyway. Jarron and I really never have a structured things of going about things.
Were we on this one?
I mean, it's not. We were sort of talking about it. Haters gonna hate, sort of. I mean, it's more so just a PSA. Yeah, it's more of a PSA thing. I guess generally for what I wanted to say about that is just it definitely helps. I mean, this is a lot of this. For example, can be done on your own, but it really does help if you have like a group, like a solid crew, solid squad, to squad up when it comes to like cosplaying. Helps boost in morale and kind of like really help each other out when it comes to cosplay and stuff like that. But another thing I wanted to just briefly say is that if since for some any reason if you're at the con and you can be critical, I guess you can give critiques. I've never seen it, but apparently there have been cases that kind of just kinds of advice or tips. But sometimes people can come off as a little bit too how would you say it? Not really critiquing, but like they're a little bit more nitpicky about certain things, or like kind of point out certain things. I mean,
again, fuck those people.
I'm sure they mean well. They're trying to like it's like, hey, could have worked on that a little bit better, but good job though.
Maybe. I'm gonna just assume that they were being nice and helpful. Although, speaking of people giving out, tips and whatnot, there was this one cosplayer that mentioned that for my Miles cosplay, because she had seen a couple of Miles out there, that she noticed that no one had bothered to try the little detail he does with his shoes, which is, for anyone that's seen the movie, he has them untied and the strings just loose. And thought about it, and I was like, I really want to. And I did end up doing it, like, sometime afterward. But I didn't end up running back into that girl, however, to show her. Because I wanted to get a picture with her, with me having the lace change. So, if she happens to see this, hit me up, though. For real. Not trying to sound desperate at all. Or thirsty.
You're on the Wannabe Boo podcast. I think you're pretty much at rock bottom at this point.
First of all, I am a guest. I was invited. I was helping out my boys. I was trying to do y'all a solid. I didn't want you doing no solo show. Yeah, you might be right.
Hit him up though. He does have an Instagram, and this is gonna be on. I will post this on the Acen page. The one Acen page I feel like everyone's on. So if you recognize this man right here, I'm not really a good matchmaker for this kind of stuff. Hit him up. Yes. I am the wingman. I am the wings of man for this occasion.
I would also like to point out he's a terrible wingman. But it's okay, he's my boy. And, he's got my back still, regardless of his inability to be a great wingman. But yeah, sure. Make sure you post it to all the places. Just for the love of God, please edit the shit out of this video.
Oh, I'm not gonna edit this out. A lot of it's gonna be untouched and pretty natural, I guess you would say. But as usual, cosplaying has two parts of all things. There's the cosplayer, and then there's the attendees and the people viewing the cosplay, meaning like videographers, photographers, even just attendees, kind of like wanting to get a picture with the cosplayers as well. I do want to talk a little bit about etiquette for being an observer of the cosplayer, especially with today's kind of like climate, with like the today's climate of consent and all that. Especially if you want to take a picture, like for one of the small things, very simple. Like if you want to take a picture of a cosplayer, you can literally just walk up to them and ask, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" Or, "Hey, can I get a picture of you in your cosplay?" And with my experience, 9 times out of 10, they would say yes. I've only gotten denied once because they were kind of in a rush at a photo shoot somewhere else. It was like, "Oh, that's fine. You go on ahead." And it's something as easy as that. You don't have to like try to sneak in a picture or like kind of be weird about the whole thing. You can. I mean, a lot of people are in cosplay because they want to, they really want to show what they got, and if they want to take a photo, and they also want to take photos of other people in cosplay as well. I mean, I'm sure, as long as you ask, you'll be given an answer of some kind. So. And that goes the same thing with like getting for a video, getting video snips if you're doing like costume music videos, or even just like doing poses and stuff like that. I mean, what do you have to add on to that whole thing, Martrell?
Well, one thing that I've known for a while, but being a shyer person, is still a little bit hard to act on, is the fact that everybody is actually probably really fucking shy. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people are like, I wish more people came up, took a picture of me or asked and whatnot. And then there's a lot of people on the other side of the spectrum, like, I really wish I went up to that person and asked them if I could take a picture, with them or of them and whatnot. So just go for it, man. Or lady, or what's the word?
Individual.
Yes. Person. People and or persons. Yeah, just go for it and ask. Hell, if you see me at any point in time in cosplay, ask. I'll pose like a motherfucker.
I mean, I feel like you didn't take any pictures with any cosplayers, though, did you?
I did take a few.
With them or just of them?
I took a few. I took maybe like 1 or 2 with a cosplayer, and then I had like 3 or 4 taken of me. Outside of that, not too many. But of course, it was the same situation of no one asked, so I didn't bother. And my phone's camera is pretty shitty, so I was refusing to take pictures with it.
It's all right. Even with 2 megapixels, you will be just fine. Get that good old fashioned pixelated image of your fucking cosplay.
The camera is trash, and I need to upgrade my phone. But that aside, just ask. I'm sure you'll get all the pictures you want. It's just, for the love of God, don't be a creep about it, and don't get handsy and shit. That's really rude.
Yeah, like even if something as simple as like hand over the shoulder, a lot of it has to be consensual. So you have to make sure that if you're asking for a photo of somebody and you wanna give them a hug or something like that, you want to be able to ask about that sort of thing if they're comfortable with that kind of pose with the picture and stuff like that. Because again, everyone is human, and we all gotta treat each other in at least a decent way. Common decency. Treat your fellow man or fellow woman kindly, and also with respect as well. So, and in relation to that too, if you were getting asked for a photo, you can always say no. Don't ever feel pressure to say yes, just because they ask you to. If you don't, especially like I've seen one post about like if their butt's on the floor, it means there's no photos kind of thing. If someone is obviously they're just kind of resting up, and if you're in that situation too, you just kind of plopped on the ground and you want to rest up because when you're walking around all day at the con and someone asks you to take a picture, you can say no if you want to, and it's perfectly fine. Because I'm as someone who's cosplayed a lot as well, you get tired as shit of walking around the floor in costume and depending what you're wearing too. So it's perfectly fine to just say nah, not right now. I'm not really in the mood, or I'm just tired, stuff like that. And if they get irritated, fuck them, because they're being rude at that point if they're trying to press for a photo. So, but if you were to get asked, and if you were to get asked and you wanted to do it, yeah, you go on how to do it. I mean, how was your experience when people ask you to take photos? Since a shyer person like that, because for people who are shy out there and you get surprised that it can be a little bit surprising if someone kind of walks up to you and says, "Hey, can I get a photo of you?" or "Can I get a photo with you?" that kind of thing. What can you say about stuff like that, especially for someone who is a little bit on the shyer side of things?
Well, based on my particular experience, I was actually surprised how non-shy I was. Like, I was actually like,
fucking fly! Oh my God! What the fuck? Jesus Christ! There's a fly. Okay. Let's go back to that.
oh well, yeah. So I was super surprised how I was pretty confident about it. I was like, oh yeah, sure, take my picture and whatnot, and then
Is it still there?
no.
Oh, it is. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. I need my own studio. I can't be getting this environmental shit. Oh, God.
Like attack my face.
He's attacking him. Don't worry, we have it on camera.
Oh, that's bad.
R.I.P. Martrell. Oh, it's still there. Wait. There it is. Fuck. Jesus Christ. Ah, fucking hell. Wait. Move that trash can. It might be that. Oh, Jesus. We're having some technical difficulties. No, we're having some environmental difficulties right now because Mother Nature's a bitch. There we go. It's probably the trash. Well, then again, we are trash ourselves, so.
Do not group me in the same group of trash as you, my friend.
We are all cut from the same shitty, weeby cloth, my friend.
Actually, I don't think I'm actually a weeb. And neither are you.
True. I'm a wannabe boo.
I'm just a fan. I like my anime. I like my weeby-ass music. But I don't think I'm actually a weeb. I feel like I'm pretty much a fucking normie. Maybe even a poser.
Or a hipster to some degree of that culture.
Nah, because I'm not enough of an asshole to be a hipster. Apologies to anyone that's a hipster and listening and think I'm being a bit of a dick. But Nah, I'm just a guy that likes cool shit.
Well, going back to the whole cosplay thing, you getting asked for a photo, especially on the shyer side of things.
Yeah, I think once you get your first photo done, you'll be fine. For my shy folks out there, my shy brothers and sisters and individuals. But yeah, once that first one's done, you'll be fine. Hell, even if your friend just takes one of you, you'll be fine. But once like that first, stranger or random person or fellow cosplayer takes it, it's a huge fucking confidence boost. I started strutting my shit after the first one. I was like, hey, I'm cool. Which is, probably really lame of me right there. But yeah, man, I think it's really worth it. That I want to say what cosplayers high maybe.
Something like that. It's sort of like it's like I said, it's like a confidence boost. Just don't let it go over your head, or don't let it get into your head, right?
Let it go to your head a little bit. No, for real. Enjoy it. Let that shit get up there. Let it fucking get you hype. Let it do that. It's fine. Don't go overboard. Still be a decent fucking person, but by all means, let it go to your head a bit. I certainly did. So, my guy, how long have we been recording for?
We've been going on for a little bit. Oh, sort of. It's still under an hour. We're about 53 minutes in, despite given the small interruptions we had with like nature and shit like that. But we have been going on for a little bit, guys. This is a little bit of a shorter podcast than usual. But we had a lot to say about the whole thing, cosplaying for the first time. Martrell here talking about his first experiences cosplaying for the first time. So I do want to talk about this a little bit. So while I was out here, again, for those of you guys listening, and for those of you guys that are listening that actually went to Acen, you guys are great. This Acen 2019 was fun as usual. A lot more fun. I actually had a lot more fun this time around because I did a lot more stuff. One of them being is that I was working on a cosplay music video. It's my very first one, so please be judgmental. And I will be putting that together for you guys shortly soon, and that'll be posted up on all the media links. And I forgot to mention this too. Make sure to follow us and listen to us on all the social media links and other affiliated links as well. Like if you want to listen to the podcast, find us on Google Play, iTunes, the Stitcher app, anywhere that has an RSS feed, as well as iHeartRadio.com. That's where you can find us. We also post our stuff on YouTube, and we post a lot of memes on the Facebook page as well, Facebook and Twitter. If you want to hit me up and you want to hit Jarron up with some bullshit, then at us at Twitter at wannabeaboo, and that's spelled WANNABEABOO, and that's a lot. That's pretty much the same thing for a lot of our stuff. So that's also for the YouTube page. That's also for looking up the podcast on Google as well. And for Facebook, it's at WBAcast. It's facebook.com/WBAcast. So look out for some costume news videos. Also check out our affiliated YouTube channel, WBATV, where we kind of just post a lot of good stuff. Jarron posted up his latest video, which is the Sekiro review rant. And I wonder if that's picking that up. There's a big old sound out there. Hopefully not.
Probably. It might have, honestly.
It's okay though. But the costume news video will also be uploaded on the WBA TV channel as well. And I feel like there's something else. Make sure to follow this man on his Instagram as well. You already know it. It's King of No Name. Link will be provided for you in the description down below. And I feel like there's something else. I don't think so. So far, the next sort of plans. Oh yes, of course. As you guys know, this is episode 68, and the next one, episode 69. Be ready for a good old fashion hentai podcast for the next one, because it is going to be our 69th podcast since our existence. So we're gonna make it real nice and dirty for y'all. So, and if things work out, there may be a bit of a surprise. But no promises, no details yet. If I even get anything done with that, I surely hope so. um, thank you again, Martrell, for being the last minute special guest and victim of the Wannabe Boo podcast.
You know what? It's fine. If everything works out and I get some shit in my DMs that I'm really happy about, then this is good. This is cool. I'm down with this. I might even show up again and not against my will.
Of course, because you were here for pure intentions of want to help out your fellow brother, right?
Absolutely not. This man held me at gunpoint. I shit you not. He's got a Glock under the table pointed at me. This is a. Oh right. Help.
I'm not threatening him at all. Say the goddamn lines. Say your goddamn lines, damn it. Speak clearly into the mic.
Wait. Okay, hold up. The Wannabe Bullcast is brought to you by this fucking guy, and another fucking guy that's in another state. Forgot the rest of my lines, but yeah.
It's okay. So, before we end off here, guys, future plans right now. Anime Midwest is something I'm going to be looking towards as well. That's going to be in July. I might do a live show there as well. And if you guys happen to be at Anime Midwest, I'll be up there. You know, ask for a picture, maybe. I don't know. I have to get some of my our merch out there. In general, and DaishoCon as well. DaishoCon is also something I'm planning. I'm planning with some other podcasters you may or may not know, but more details on that once November starts rolling in a little bit closer. So I'm gonna do a little bit of an outro here. Well, after I say my name, you'll say your name as well. So that's how that'll work out. Got it?
Oh shit! What?
Insert not here.
That 404 error though.
Okay, so as usual, guys, thanks for listening. Thank you for downloading us. I have not checked the latest podcast download numbers yet, but we're definitely not at 2,000 total downloads yet. But thanks again for listening. Thanks again for downloading us. We wouldn't have gone this far without you guys. We are at a 68th consecutive podcast for the Wannabe Boo, for us Wannabe Boos out there, and I hope to see you guys. I hope you guys listen in again next time. And as usual, my name is Jomel Socorro.
Martrell, the one and only.
And we on the Wannabe Boo podcast bring you the latest and greatest game anime news, reviews, and waifus for life. See you again, Space Cowboy. Or I feel like did I fuck that up? Here, you do it.
Nah, I'm just not. I'm done. Going on.
You banned and set. See you, Space Cowboy.